What's up, guys and girls? Hope everyone is having a great day. Thought I'd make a quick video just to walk you through how do you best utilize SUMIFS and SUMIF in sort of the presentation of sales data, which could be very relevant for your accounting / corporate finance based role. Let's just jump straight into it. So I've got this pretty standard data set here, just that we've procured off of a great Microsoft Excel page. So we've got order date, region, rep, item, units, unit cost, and total. And all this data is relatively insightful and can be useful to do a bit of financial analysis here. But first things first, I think you want to start off by getting the data in as sort of clean a format as possible. So you might need to do some manipulation outside, which is what we'll do here. Now, what we have here is a bunch of dates ranging from the first of the month to mid-month to end of month. So literally the date of order here. But if we're doing monthly analysis, it's probably not going to be as useful. And if we're doing charting especially, that's going to be a little bit hard to see and just not as clear and concise as it could be. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with equals EO month. And then we're going to start date as the order date here. And then 0 because we just want the end of the month. So we can see here if something was sold on the 6th of the 1st, the end of month period that we can use to populate our data field here is January 21. So now we just go to scroll down to the bottom, Control Alt V, gets us to here. We want to paste the formula down here. And now we have a useful field to be able to sort of sort our data and begin to, I guess, more powerfully utilize our SUMIF and SUMIF functions. Now, first things first is what do we actually want to plot on our monthly data? It might be sort of by item, by rep, by region. Let's just go ahead and start off with by item. Now we've selected all our data here, and then what we want to do here is make sure that we get every single potential option there is. So we paste probably the cleanest way to do this is to go into a separate tab, paste down, and so we've got all the different data sets here, and this becomes much more important when you've actually got 40,000 line items, not just 40 line items for this demonstration purpose. So what we can do now is select the whole entire row, remove duplicates. Now we've selected column A, click OK. So now we've got 38 duplicate values were found and 5 remain. So this is the entirety of the SKU set or product range for this particular set of data. So we can just go and drop that in here. Just bring up our total line for sanity's sake, presentation purposes. And then now what we can do here, utilizing a SUMIFS function, this goes equals SUMIFS tab, and we want to sum the dollar value of the sales or cost here. That's everything in that field. That's effectively the data that we want to bring through. And now our first criteria range will be the month. So we can pop in down, and then we lock that cell, scroll back up, and then the criteria here, Jan 21, we want to lock that on the row because when we drag this down, we don't want the criteria 1 to drag with it as well. Now, effectively, this is just Jan 21, all the total sales in that month. But we don't want that. We want the total sales by item. So now we have to add another criteria here for pencil. Lock that on as well. Now scroll back up. It's our second criteria. But now we also want to lock L4 here because we don't want that formula to drag across. Boom. Just clean up our formatting here a little bit. So now, if we just drag our formula across, this is effectively what we've got for each SKU, the sales here. And you can see our formulas are dragging nice and correctly. Let's just clean up our formatting here. Number. Let's go to 1 decimal place. All of our data plotted on a monthly basis by SKU item right now. And from here, you can do some charting as well. So what you would potentially do is just select all of the data, recommended chart. And oftentimes you like a stacked column chart with this type of data to give you a sense of the SKU composition. And obviously formatting is very important here. Apologies, my computer is very slow here. Monthly sales by SKU. And there you go. There you have it. You've got your data. But as we all know, particularly in accounting, you want to make sure everything ties off and reconciles here. So effectively what the formula would be here is if you want to just bring in all the sales for that month, take this off, delete this. So that is your total for that month. Now we can check that back to our total per hour summary data. Boom, we're happy. We're happy that everything checks off and ties well in that. And then we've plotted also our monthly data as well. Now, this is effectively utilizing SUMIFS. If you were just to use SUMIF, you wouldn't have the functionality or the ability to leverage multiple criteria. There might be a situation where that's okay because you might have like monthly P&Ls and balance sheets where you can simply drag across and you don't need that extra criteria for the date. But for the purpose of this analysis, you can make this all pretty dynamic and use as many SUMIF criteria as you want. Now, what we can add here, if we wanted to see monthly sales data by product, by rep, we could bring in Jones as well up here. And then we could add another criteria. Bring in Jones as well. And then lock that because we don't want that dependent to move anywhere. Pull our data across. And then you can see Jones ain't doing too well here, boys and girls. But effectively, that's some of the ways that you can make this a little bit more dynamic. And obviously our check doesn't work because we haven't locked this for simply Jones's sales here. So we can update our check as well. Now we're happy. It seems like he had a bit of time off from November 21 to June 22, which makes sense because that's in the future. Effectively, that's how you can make this a little bit more dynamic, for example. And you could essentially use drop-down menus as well here, which we can go into another video to make this a bit more foolproof in case you say, hypothetically, misspelled his name or something like that, then your data is obviously not correct there. We could go by Kivel as well. And then you can see the different sales items for each of the different reps. Solvino, let's go through that as well. Everyone's going to be doing really well in August 22 for some reason. But I hope that was relatively informative, guys and girls. There's a pretty straightforward video on how to use SUMIFS and best utilize these formulas, and then essentially just getting to the point where you can plot this data on a monthly basis. So thanks, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ciao for now. Bye.